Date and victim: Pinar Gultikan, a 27-year-old economics student at Mugla University, disappeared on July 16, 2020, in Ula, Mugla. Discovery: her body was found 5 days later, on July 21, in a forest near Mentesi. She had been strangled, burned inside a barrel, and her body was dumped and covered with concrete. Plus, perpetrator: arrested suspect was 32-year-old bar owner Semel Metanavci, identified as her ex-boyfriend. He confessed, after a quarrel, he strangled her, burned her in a barrel, and tried to hide evidence with concrete. The brutality sparked nationwide outrage. Thousands marched in Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, and Antalya, branding it another failure in curbing femicides. Some protests ended with police detentions. Hurriyet Daily News: a social media campaign, #challenge accepted, #women supporting women, went viral, bringing renewed attention to gender-based violence in Turkey. Activists and rights groups, including We Will Stop Femicides and the Federation of Women's Associations, voiced strong condemnation. Reddit voices underscored cultural and legal issues. High femicide rate. Men who say they acted on impulse are handed reduced sentences, called tie reduction. Reddit: according to autopsy, placed in a barrel, burned, more than 474 women were murdered in 2019. June 20, 2022, Mugla Third High Criminal Court sentenced Avci to aggravated life imprisonment, but controversially reduced it to 23 years, citing unjust provocation, claiming Gultikan had blackmailed him, igniting massive backlash. Public outcry was strong. This is a legal freak. Justice died. This murderer will be released after 14 years. Family lawyer Rezana Pozdemir. Daily Sabah: brother Mertcan Avci, parents, ex-wife, and a friend were initially acquitted of aiding or evidence concealment. March 10, 2023, Izmir Regional Court of Appeals overturned the 23-year term, reinstating aggravated life for Semel Avci. Mertcan received 4 years for concealing evidence. Turkey Today, February 2, 2025, Turkey's Court of Cassation, Supreme Court, reversed that decision. In a 3-2 ruling, reduced the charge to intentional, simple murder with torture, and reapplied provocation, reduction, triggering renewed criticism. The court ruled it wasn't a monstrous intent murder, despite confirmation she was burned alive. Current status: as of February 2025, the Supreme Court prosecutor has appealed the 2025 ruling. If successful, Avci could face reinstatement of aggravated life. If not, the case may go to the General Assembly for final resolution. Confusion: full name is Atelier Fillers, not Felice. Missing person from France, 2011. Fillers was once romantically involved with Olga Serogina, a Russian woman who disappeared in Paris in 2011. He remains a suspect, though no formal charges were filed in that case. June 2013, Ankara double homicide. Fillers shot and killed his close friend Göktuğ Demiraslan and Demiraslan's girlfriend, Elena Radchikova, inside their Ankara apartment. Initial motive he gave: they questioned him about Serogina's disappearance. May 27, 2016, Istanbul killing. Posing under a fake identity, Fillers worked for a family in Tuzla. When the wife, history teacher Fatma Kayikci, 40, became suspicious, he stabbed and killed her, then loaded her body into a suitcase. Nationwide manhunt. After the 2016 murder, Turkish media described him as a serial killer and survival expert, multilingual, well-read, and adept at evading capture. On the run, spent approximately 3 years hiding, camping in forests, intermittently staying in hotels under false identities, living off the land. Capture: June 12, 2016, a vigilant minicab driver in Izmir recognized him. Fillers was arrested without resistance. June 2016, courts ordered arrest and a mental competency evaluation, concluding Fillers was fit for trial. December 2016, prosecutor requested aggravated life imprisonment and an additional decade for theft in the Kayikci case. March 2017, he was sentenced by an Istanbul court to 2 aggravated life terms for the murders. No remorse exhibited. Police reported that he appeared unemotional and merry at the time of arrest, claimed external powers directed him via newspaper messages. Sociopathy over serial killer label. Some insiders argue the serial killer tag was media sensationalism, Fillers appeared more like a sociopathic, spontaneous killer rather than someone driven by a psychological compulsion to kill similar victims. A prominent Turkish investigative journalist and columnist for Cumhuriyet, MUMCU was renowned for exposing drug and arms trafficking, corruption, Islamist and Kurdish separatist ties, and deep state operations, including intelligence networks inside the state. Trained as a lawyer, he turned to journalism in the mid-1970s and earned acclaim for hard-hitting investigations such as the Furniture Files case. On that morning in Ankara, a C4 bomb placed under his Renault exploded as he entered it in front of his home, killing him instantly. The attack shocked Turkey, and his funeral prompted massive public mourning. At the time of his death, MUMCU was investigating high-level ties between the Turkish intelligence service, MIT, and the PKK, and arms trafficking to Kurdish leaders en.wikipedia.org. Theories about responsibility include Islamist groups, e.g., Tevhid Selam, Islamic Liberation, initially claimed credit. Deep state and state-linked actors remain widely suspected. Allegations involve intelligence officials and organized crime. Investigative leads have implicated Iran-trained militants. Recent testimonies by crime figures said PKK implicated ex-police chief Mehmet Agar and government collusion. A 20-year-old psychology student at KAG University in Mersin, known for her optimism and scholarly drive. Returning from a shopping trip, Özgeken boarded a minibus. The driver Ahmet Sufi Altundokan diverted the vehicle, attempted to rape her. She fought back with nails and pepper spray. He stabbed, beat her, then, with help from his father, Nekmetin, and a friend, Fatih Gökçe, mutilated her body, cut off hands to destroy DNA, burned it, and dumped remains in a riverbed. All three were arrested. In December 2015, they received aggravated life sentences without parole, the toughest in Turkey. In prison, Sufi and his father were later attacked. Sufi died from injuries. The brutality sparked nationwide outrage, protests in Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, Tarsus, and beyond, including high-tension funeral scenes where women carried her coffin. The world from PRX. Social media movement #Sendinlat, Tell Your Story, mobilized thousands of women to share their experiences of harassment. Calls surged for tougher laws, reinstating the death penalty, removing leniency for provocation, and introducing an Özgeken law to prevent reduced sentences in femicide cases. Born in 1967 in Adana, Yapışıcı became known as the Screwdriver Killer and the Beast in Turkey. Described by police as having at least 18 confirmed murders, possibly up to 40 to 43 according to witnesses and family. First violent acts began around 1994, often over trivial provocations, like someone saying, "Good morning." Victims were frequently killed with a screwdriver or knife. Wikipedia, arrested multiple times and repeatedly deemed unfit for trial under Turkish law, Section 46 TCK, sent to Bakırköy Psychiatric Hospital, escaped or released early, then resumed killing. During confinement, he attacked patients, nurses, even set fire to his ward, feigning psychosis, "I am Jesus, Ataturk," to avoid prosecution. Killed a friend's sister and fiancé in Istanbul, waged random attacks in Adana, Ankara, Korlu, Edremit. Murdered his grandmother in Edremit with an ashtray because she offended him. His mother died shortly after of a heart attack upon hearing this. In his final spree, December 23, 2002, in Korlu, he murdered 3 people, including a night watchman, with a screwdriver and wounded others, including an imam in a mosque, before being arrested on December 24, 2002. A 2003 evaluation declared him fully criminally responsible, stating he had faked mental illness. Tried in Tekirdağ, he admitted entering dissociative episodes, lost sense of time and place, during the murders. Currently serving a 40-plus year sentence, reports vary between approximately 40 to 64 years, in Tekirdağ prison. Born in 1942, Yurdakul was the chief of police in Adana province and a respected prosecutor known for his proactive stance against political violence and corruption. Appointed under Prime Minister Bülent Ecevit's government, he earned a reputation for dismantling fascist violence, notably targeting MHP-affiliated militants, cracking down on black market profiteers, and championing community safety. On the morning of September 28, 1979, as he left home for work, his vehicle was ambushed near his residence in Adana by armed assailants, identified as Muhsin Kaya, Abdurrahman Kipchak, Halil Ibrahim Altanishik, Mustafa Gulna, and Usul Yurik. His car was riddled with bullets. Yerdakul was killed instantly along with his driver, in a brazen attack that shook the city. This marked Turkey's first recorded killing of a sitting police chief and triggered widespread unrest among police and civilians. Over 300 police officers in Adana went on strike in solidarity. Some of the shooters, Halil Ibrahim Altanishik, Kadir Akgolu, Mustafa Gulner, and Usul Yurik, were brought to trial under Turkish Penal Code articles for premeditated murder. Allegations circulated that the order came from Alparslan Turks, then leader of the MHP. However, no one higher ranking was ever prosecuted. T-24. The two primary shooters, Kaya and Kipchak, escaped custody and fled abroad. Kaya was later extradited from Germany in 1997, received a decades-long sentence, but benefited from legal reforms and was released in 2012. Kipchak was arrested in 1989 for drug trafficking but again released shortly after. He was ultimately killed in a gang-related shooting in 2006.